Let's take a look at the first problem of the worksheet titled Solving Linear Equations Using the Elimination Method. And you'll see that we have our two equations and we have lined them up so that all of the like terms are grouped together and they are in columns. So you'll see that we have our whole numbers together here. Our answers are 28. I'm just going to draw a line through there. We have our y's and then we have our x's. Now in this particular example, because of how they're lined up, we have a plus y and a minus y. So what we want to do is we want to add these equations. And essentially we're going to cancel out our y's so that we can solve for x. 6x minus, or actually 6x plus 2x gives us 8x. And our plus y minus y gives us 0, so we don't need to write that down. But we'll add our 28s, and that gives us 56. So 8x equals 56. Let's divide each side by 8. And 56 divided by 8 is 7. So x equals 7. So now that we've figured out and we know what x is, we want to go back and we want to solve for y. So we can take that value of x and substitute it into either one of those equations. Let's go ahead and put it into the first equation. So we have 6, rather than x it's 7, so 6 times 7 plus y equals 28. And 6 times 7 is 42, so we have 42 plus y equals 28. Let's subtract 42 from each side, and 28 minus 42 gives us a negative 14. So y equals a negative 14. So in our first problem, we see that x equals 7 and y equals a negative 14. Let's take a look at our second problem from our worksheet. Our first equation is 5x minus 7y equals 95. And our second one, we have 3x plus 7y equals 1. Now you'll see right here we've got a minus 7y and a plus 7y. So those will cancel out and we will add the other term. So essentially what we're doing in this problem, just like we did with number 1, is we're adding those. 5x plus 3x gives us 8x. Negative 7y and a positive 7y cancel each other out. And 95 plus 1 equals 96. Divide each side by 8. And x, grab our calculator here, 96 divided by 8 gives us 12, and so we see that x equals 12. So we've solved for 12. Now we can substitute the value of 12 in and solve for y. Again, it doesn't matter which equation we use. Let's go ahead and let's use the second one this time. So we have 3 times 12 plus 7 times y equals 1. 3 times 12, well, that's 36. So we have 36 plus 7y equals 1. Subtract our 36 from both sides. And we see that 7y equals a negative 35. Divide both sides by 7. And y equals a negative 5. So in our second equation, x equals 12 and y equals a negative 5. If you wanted to take this one step further and substitute both those values in and check your solutions, you could, but we're not going to at this point. Let's take a look at problem number 3 on our worksheet. Problem number 3, we have 5x plus 6y equals negative 8, and we have a negative 5x minus 2y equals a negative 4. So here, again, you'll see that we have a positive 5x and a negative 5x. So we're going to add these equations here, and our 5x's cancel out. And we have 6y plus a negative 2y, which gives us a positive 4y. And negative 8 plus a negative 4 gives us a negative 12. Divide each side by 4. And y equals a negative 3. Again, let's take that y, that negative 3, and substitute it in. We'll use the top equation. And so we've got 5x, so we're going to solve for x, plus 6 times negative 3 equals a negative 8. 5 times x is 5x, plus 6 times negative 3, which gives us a negative 18, and that equals a negative 8. We could rewrite this as 5x minus 18 equals a negative 8. So now let's add 18 to both sides. Carry down the 5x. So 5x equals, and negative 8 plus a positive 18 leaves us with a positive 10. Divide each side by 5, and x equals 2. So in our third example, we see that y equals a negative 3, and x equals 2.